Some call our realm a world of shadows, but that makes it sound unpleasant. The twilight there holds a serene beauty. You have seen it yourself as the sun sets on this world. Bathed in that light, all people were pure and gentle. But things changed once that foul power pervaded the world. It was all our doing. We overestimated our abilities as sages and attempted to put an end to Ganondorf's evil magic. I hope you can find it in yourself to forgive our carelessness. Oh, Twilight Princess. What? So, you knew? As a ruler who fled her people, I'm hardly qualified to forgive you. In our world, we've long believed that the hero would appear as a divine beast. That's why when I found you, I thought I could use you, Jack. And I only cared about returning our world to normal. I didn't care what happened to the world of light. Not at all. But after witnessing the selfless lengths that Princess Zelda and you have gone to, your sacrifices, I now know in the bottom of my heart that I must save this world too. There is no other way. If we can just defeat Zant, the curse on me will dissolve, and we may be able to revive Zelda. Let's go, Jack. For Zelda. For all of this world. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Twilight Princess HD. In the last episode we ran around with our double claw shots, finding ways to distract ourselves from the task at hand. But in this episode we finally returned to the mirror chamber, and now we have restored the Mirror of Twilight. We can now enter the Twilight realm, where Zant is waiting for us. So let's not dawdle any longer, and let's take a ride into the darkness. And this is the Palace of Twilight, and it's the 8th dungeon in the game. Listen, Jack, can I ask you one last selfish favour? Regardless of what my reasons may have been, I once abandoned this world. I left behind the Twilight, those who had followed me, who considered me their ruler. Even now, as they remain here, suffering, they believe that help will come for this world. But if they were to see that only help for them was a hideous little imp, don't you think they'd feel let down? It's only for a little bit longer. Do you mind if I continue to hide as your shadow while you're in human form? I'm sorry. Well, I mean, there's no harm there. Look, we can see our shadow in this world with no sun. Welcome to the Twilight Realm, and you might be noticing right away that we haven't transformed back into Wolf-Link. And that is the power of the Master Sword, I suppose. Wait, this guy isn't an enemy, Jack. They might look different, but they're inhabitants of this world. They're my people. Zant, how could he? So yes, all the Twilight, the residents of the Twilight Realm, have been transformed into these strange beasts that wear the same masks as the Shadow Beasts do. We've been fighting up to this point. So we have two ways to go, I guess. One is to go down to this doorway down there, on the east side of the dungeon, and we can also sort of travel midway up this central path. There's nothing up here that we can't do anything up here just yet, because there is this dark energy waterfall thing that is pouring down, and we cannot cross through that just yet. So there's only technically one way to go, but they do allow you to go and check out what's up the northern end of the dungeon. But nope, let's go into the east wing. So we got that big major cutscene beforehand, and the major revelation that Midna is in fact the princess of the Twilight Realm. She is the titular Twilight Princess, not Zelda, who Midna actually referred to Zelda as the Twilight Princess early on. And we've got a bunch of different shadow creatures in the Palace of Twilight, including a Zant head. You might be able to see it in the distance, and it's coming towards me. I think you can deflect the energy shots that they shoot at you with a shield bash. You might also be able to use a sword swing. I don't really know. But we've got the shadow variation of a Baba Serpent. We've seen Shadow Decubabas before, but we haven't seen the Serpent variant. That when you cut the stem, it acts on its own. Okay, so yes, use the shield bash to take care of these guys. And oh, I took damage, didn't I? So I don't have the Great Spin anymore. The Great Spin is the hidden skill that we picked up in the last episode. But unfortunately, I just took damage. I told you I wouldn't be able to get the Great Spin off very often, and that's just proved it. And we need to defeat the Zant head, so it's called. It might be called Zant's Mask. I can't remember which one it is. But defeat that one to reveal the small key, and the locked door is up on the ledge there. Use these claw shot targets on the wall. Very neon red, like the aesthetics of the whole Palace of Twilight. This whole got like these blue veins going through the wall. Very, very stylish. I like your architecture, Midna. This is indeed your palace. But yeah, Midna did refer to Princess Zelda as the Twilight Princess quite early on, but that's just a ruse, because she is the true Twilight Princess. And here we have this black mist, and if we step inside, we will be transformed back into Wolf-Link. Somehow. Jack, be careful. This black fog is made up of shadow crystals created by Zant. They blot out light. He's responsible for stealing the light from the spirits and turning your world into twilight. But he's not all-powerful. We're prepared too. I can return you to your normal state whenever you need me, so don't worry, okay? Well, I have to sort of question how that transforms us into Wolf-Link when we have the Master Sword still. I mean, the Master Sword is the blade of evil's bane. If it doesn't get rid of this black fog, then what else will? But that's fine. We're stuck in Wolf-Link form while we're lurking around in the black fog. That's something that I need to address, is that the Wolf-Link sort of becomes obsolete. Sort of doesn't become really relevant for a lot of time in the game after getting the Master Sword anyway. I mean, the transformation between the two, obviously important. Oh jeez, a bunch of shadow vermin dropped down there. You can just watch me open this chest, why not? And that is the compass. We get the compass for the dungeon map for once. But yeah, after grabbing the Master Sword, we don't really use Wolf-Link for anything relevant, I don't think. I mean, it's optional to go as Wolf-Link from that point on, and of course we can transform between the two at will, and there are a few puzzles that do rely on that gimmick. But, you know, it's Wolf-Link sort of becomes an item after that point, akin to maybe the ball and chain or bombs or something. So you only use Wolf-Link in certain scenarios, and also whenever you're warping, because apparently we have to be Wolf-Link in order to warp around different portals. But I digress. That's a different complaint right there. So in this room we did get the small key, so we can proceed onwards, but I think there is a couple of chests that we can grab, and I want to grab them now. Yeah, even though we're going to be passing through this room again in a minute. I think I just got a voice crack there, sorry about that. But I want to grab whatever's in this room right at this current moment. There is indeed a chest on this upper ledge, and I think this is a stamp, I think. Excuse me, no, serpent. Oh, that's not a serpent, that's just a regular deck of barber. Can't differentiate between the two in the Twilight realm. It's both the same. Yep, that is the stamp, and it's the Angry Midna stamp. We have seen a lot of Angry Midna in this episode already. During the cutscene, anyway. She's got that evil smile on her face. Although I guess that's a sort of happy Midna as well. Let's grapple back on, because I wanted to check over the other side, but it doesn't look like I can get over there. That's for another trip, I guess. And let's head through the locked door. And surprise, surprise, we're already at a black screen transition, which means mini-boss time. Ooh, what an ominous thing in the distance. Ball of light. But of course, it's not that simple. Something is going to happen as we approach it. And these spikes, you'll of course recognise them from all the Shadow Beast encounters, drop down. And here is Zant. But this isn't true Zant. I love the effect they put on him here, like he's a hologram of some kind. But no, this is Phantom Zant. And yeah, he's pretty much just a copy, or maybe a hologram. And I can't do much about this enemy spawn thing, but it does bring a bunch of keys down. I'm trying to do a spin attack, but it's not recognising my quick spin input for some reason. But anyway, that's all the enemies dealt with. Now we have to watch and learn as he goes around the room, see where he's going to appear, and attack him when he shoots that ball into the air. And then he summons a bunch of enemies. I'm taking way too much damage. I should probably just drink something. I've got a red potion, I think that'll do for now. Let's equip that to the Y button. And let's give that a quick sip. And Zant just appeared right in front of us as I did that. Okay, that's fine. Not a full restore. That's okay, because I know we're going to get a heart piece or two. Let's go to you again. You can attack him and interrupt him before he throws the ball, which is obviously the optimum strategy. Where's all the keys? There's all the keys. Hello. Can I do a quick spin? I'm circling the controls. That might be just my control stick acting up again. And then he's throwing. He doesn't normally throw these enemy balls that quickly, I don't find. Oh, shadow deck of barbers. If I stand in the middle, I think none of them will hit me. Oh no, they will. I got a bit cocky there. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend running around dealing with all these things. Also, yes, if Phantom Zant warps quite close to you, you can hit him before he even readies his, like this. Oh, no, too slow. You can hit him before he even readies that enemy ball. But yeah, I would recommend not going around dealing with all the Barber Serpents because they'll eventually just disappear anyway, and it's just a little bit too much effort for me. Shadow Vermin. Can I do a quick spin? Jesus. I'm not going to blame the controller or anything, but my god, I am definitely spinning the control stick. And also that Barber Serpent is still there. What the hell? Why are you lingering? Have I glitched you? You're not meant to be there, I don't think. But there we go. There is a final hit on Phantom Zant. And he explodes. And I'm sure that Barber Serpent isn't still meant to be there. He's meant to have despawned by now. But he is still right there. Well, that's not good. He's not meant to do that. But let's head around that black mist so I don't have to deal with the problem. That shining sphere illuminates this world. It is called a soul. That's not subtle at all. You know, soul, solar, it's the sun. It's like the sun of your world, Jack. The power of the soul is a source of life in this world. It is pure power. Ah, as long as you have this. Would you take this soul to the Twilight at the entrance to this world? Please, Jack. Well, I guess there's no other way of doing things. We have to cut this hand apart, and he drops this ball of light, which is the soul. Yeah, once again, obviously referring to the Latin word. But as soon as we take the ball away, it awakens. It's Igor. Maybe not. Also, that Baba Serpent, why are you... You're like blocking... I can't destroy you like that. But yes, that is Zant's hand, and it will now pursue us. Well, not pursue us, but it will pursue the soul through the dungeon. I'm going to leave that, that Baba Serpent be. He's just not meant to be there, you see? And now we need to backtrack to the entrance of the east side and deliver the soul to the Twilight. We're out in the main plaza area. But Zant's hand is relentless, and it will come through walls very ominously. This is honestly sort of frightening. Also, camera, what are you doing? Why are you pulsing like that? It's going to give me a migraine. It won't stop. Okay, I just need to angle the camera slightly downwards. Oh god, Shadow Vermin in this episode seem to be... It's always the little enemies that annoy me the most. Okay, so I need to stand on this ledge over here. You can see Zant's hand silhouette on the ground. It's like constantly flying in the air. But I'm going to throw it away. Psych! Come on, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Come on, roll, 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 roll into the hole. And whenever we put a soul into the hole, it will force some staircase to appear. But if we let Zant's hands grab it, we can still take it from him. We do that. You can also shoot it with arrows in order to like knock it to the ground. Oh, he seems to have been knocked down anyway. Yeah, that's the sort of pose he takes. Also, what? Oh, I need to throw it up. Okay. just a bit curious there. I thought I could climb up the ledge, but nope. Just a little bit more cumbersome than that. You have to let go and climb up and use the claw shot. Go! No! Shadow Vermin, what have you done? Ah, I can't believe you've done this. And now I don't have the soul, so I have to walk through here. And the only way to get back up there, I think, is to activate the staircase again. So I'm going to have to wait for Zant's hand to grab the soul and start hovering back above us. Okay, so he does have a set path through the room once he's grabbed the soul. In fact, let me use bomb arrow. Did he drop it? He did not drop it. Are you going to drop it, or... You fool! Put it down! Thank you. Okay, there's still one Shadow Vermin there. They're being little pricks in this episode, honestly. No, no! You go away. I missed the hole. Oh no, 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 no! No! Get on the stairs! Get on the stairs before they rise up! Sort of a speedrun strategy. What you're meant to do is obviously not do that, but it's faster. It's obviously to put the soul in the hole and then just take the staircase normally, but, you know, I like to do things in a sort of hasty way, and that's trying to throw the soul into the hole before the staircase even rises, and that'll just propel you up to the top. Now, take it back through here, and I think there's one collectible in this room that we can now grab with the soul. I do want to kind of grab it now, but this Zant's hand is pressuring, very, very much so, and I think it's on this side. Yeah, okay. So if I throw the soul over there, I'll get rid of this black mist, and then I can... Can I? Wait, I can't. Okay, go away. If the Zant's hand appears above the soul, then it will it'll take a little while for it to drop down and pick it up again. Is it the chest I wanted? Is this the chest I needed? It is a heart piece, okay. And that's the final chest on this side of the room. Now Zant's hand will proceed to take the soul again. It's not game over if it instantly grabs it, and also it'll gradually take it back to the first room that we found the soul in. It will just travel back through the walls. These goddamn vermin! There goes all my full hearts again. Why are there so many enemies suddenly? That's very annoying. Okay, no, soul. Magnificent balance you have there. How are you balancing on that one edge? I don't know. But let's get out of here. This is just painful. Painful performance. It would be simpler for me to just put the soul down and then, you know, just attack the enemies, defeat them, and then proceed onwards. But I'm in a bit of a rush, to be honest. I'm being chased by this goddamn hand. I want to run. I don't want to fight. But we successfully escaped with the soul. And the Twilight transform back into their previous selves, which are still quite still a strange, terrifying design, honestly. And some of them transform to little tiny guys. That one's honestly kind of cute. But yeah, there's some of them that transform differently. They all have different forms, and they just still look very weird, even though we transform them. Oh, also they have this admiration for the soul. Oh. And there's one more up here, but don't want to do anything further on this way. I just want to check very quickly, because there's these two pots here. Is there anything of relevance in them? Midnight? It's dangerous to take the soul any further. Let's head back, okay, Jack? Well, I mean, yeah, sure. But I don't know why you told me that. I was going back anyway. I was just transforming this guy. Yeah, you can't take the soul any further that way. For some strange reason, even though there's this black curtain that we could definitely dispel with the soul, we just can't take it any further, apparently. So yes, there's a couple of these patches on the ground in the opening plaza. Jack, there should be one more soul. If we can find that, it should lead us to Zant. Oh, funny that. We have to go on a fetch quest to get the other soul. And then there's another hole here for it. And that makes this platform appear, putting that one soul into place. And now let's travel on over to the other side of the dungeon. And looking at my mini-map, there are quite a lot of chests on that side. In fact, let me bring up the map very quickly. Yeah, there's 8 chests on that one side. Got to do a bit of gathering in a minute. So let's head on over into the West Wing, and then we have to backtrack again with the soul. Ooh, I'm not keen on this whole first part of the dungeon, the whole backtracking bit, but I think the dungeon does get a little better as we go through it. I like the initial run through each of these rooms, but having to go back with the soul in hand, it's honestly just a bit tedious. And maybe I should de-equip my bomb arrows, just take the bomb bit off, so that I'm not accidentally blowing myself up. I would also like to shoot these shadow keys, if possible. There we go. Waste a bit of ammo on that one, he'd notice me. So here we have the black fog again, and should be a Zant mask somewhere. We don't actually need to drop down into the fog. What we need to do is ride on these platforms. Actually, if I can grapple onto the wall first, there might be a way to get the chests in this room quite quickly. There's one over there. How do I get to that one again? I don't think I can grab that one yet. In fact, I think that's another stamp or another heart piece in that wall over there. But yeah, we can't grab that just at this moment. I'm going to drop down onto this platform, and there is another Zant mask at the end. These platforms not affected by arrows, unfortunately. So it looks like we have to hop across and deal with him man to man, or face to face. That makes more sense. Pop. No, missed it. I tried. And let's hop across again. Damn it! I'm such a. I don't know why I'm being so hasty in this episode, but you know, it's costing me more time to fall down and having to redo this area than it is if I'd have just done it in one. If I'd taken my time there, probably. Okay, let's do this platform at a time, so I'm not rushing across. Pretty simple to deal with this Zant mask on the other side. Oh, I'm rushing again. Don't know why I said I wasn't going to rush, and then I did 2 platforms at once. But now we're on this side, we can quite easily deal with the Zant's mask. Where's he gone? Oh, he's back in the same place again. Well, I thought I could hop over the top of that energy shot. Apparently I could not. He's behind me, isn't he? He's behind me. No? What? Oh, what are you doing over there? I was just over there a minute ago, damn it. Get over here! Like, seriously, what are you doing? I don't want to jump out into the middle of the platforms to hit you. and completely impervious to any items I might have. Oh, hello! that was a bit freaky. It just popped up right before our eyes, just like after completing the Lakebed Temple, as that just suddenly appears. I like that cutscene with Zant. It sort of proves him as a bit of a sort of unpredictable threat, I guess, is the way to describe Zant. And this is going to be the small key. So yeah, I don't think I can get into that hole in the wall up there just yet. I need to wait until I can come back with the soul, possibly? Or I might have to revisit this room later on. In fact, there are 2 chests in that room that I haven't been able to grab yet. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to revisit that one. And oh goody, more black fog. And this time there are shadow beasts inside. First time seeing shadow beasts in a long time. Not since... oh, there's 3 of them. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? But yeah, not since the Sacred Grove and the Temple of Time. And as soon as we step in here... Wait, are they all in here as well? Yeah, they're all in here. Okay, I thought I'd locked one of them out. Because the spikes blocked the way. But nope, there we go. Oh, there's another Zant mask over here. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? There you are. I wonder how much damage the energy field does. Doesn't automatically knock him out, but 2 does. Okay, so 1 energy field will stun it. Oh god, there's more. There's multiple. Wait, that killed me. I thought I had a fairy. Evidently not. Okay, that's our first game over in a long time. And honestly, my fault for taking so much chip damage from all the small enemies on the run back from the other room. And that does leave us, unfortunately, with 3 hearts to work with, although I do have a blue potion. Oh, you know, might as well. No harm done. I can always just go and grab another one, and I need to re-Scannendorf. That's something that I've needed to do in a while. Yes, I know, damage is already doubled. That's the whole point of this challenge, so do it with quadruple damage. Okay, so let's go in and deal with... Oh, there's 3! Why are there 3? Oh, I managed to kill 1, because I jumped through him twice. Stun, and energy field again, instantly kills them. Okay, good. Is that all of them? Please be all of them. Yeah, okay, good. And the chest appears on a very high ledge, so now we're going to work our way up there, from some angle. Where is the claw shot targets? Okay. All over this side of the room. Let's grapple on. And I should probably leave the dungeon in between episodes and go and grab... go and refill on potions, probably. I didn't realise this would be so damaging to me. And now we can access all the chests in this room. I'm sure one of these is a stamp, I don't know which one it is. Well, that... well, that'll be it. That'll be the one. Yeah, the Black Fog, I want to talk about that for a bit, because, as I mentioned before, even though we have the Master Sword, it will still force us to become Wolf-Link, even though the entire purpose that we went to the Master Sword Glade was to expel Zant's magic from our body. So yeah, I find it kind of strange that even though we have the Master Sword, we're still forced into Wolf-Link in this area. So, I wonder if that... I have a little theory, and that is somehow that Zant, or the power that Zant holds, is somehow more powerful than the Master Sword. As I mentioned after the Temple of Time, how did the Mirror of Twilight Shard end up in the Temple of Time in the past? Since the only thing that can time travel in the Zelda series is the Master Sword, but Zant somehow scattered a shard of the Mirror of Twilight into the Temple of Time. That's just the gist of that theory. So, the power that Zant has is not his own. I'm going to spoil that right now. And he's used that power that Midna said pervaded the world, the Twilight Realm, in order to overthrow the rule and become king of the Twilight Realm, and expel Midna. And that's Midna's whole backstory that she has. But yeah, since the Master Sword is the Blade of Evil's Bane, you'd think it would be like the all-powerful Master Sword, capable of doing anything. But no, we're still forced into Wolf-Link form, and that's just a bit strange. So yeah, my theory is that the power that Zant has is stronger than the Master Sword. And I mean, I don't like theorising an awful lot. But here we have a second Phantom Zant encounter. Exactly the same as the first. Oh good, more Decababbas. Let's roll out of here and just let them do their job. So yeah, speaking of theories, in the last episode we talked to Hero Shade, the guy who keeps giving us hidden skills, for the last time. And of course there is a huge theory about, well, not even a theory, it's been confirmed that the Hero Shade is indeed Link from Ocarina of Time, on the child timeline I think it is. And yeah, it's just Link couldn't pass on any of the skills that he learnt during his quest, so he does so in this game. It is in fact the same Link, who apparently, according to theory, got lost in the Lost Woods in Ocarina of Time, and anyone who is said to get lost in the Lost Woods becomes a Stalfos, and that's why the Hero Shade is like a skeletal being. But yeah, that's the whole theory there. And of course he says, "Go and do not falter, my child," as this final bit of dialogue when he teaches you the last hidden skill. He's not actually referring to you as his child, not like genetically, but as a predecessor. He's the ancestor of Link, like somewhere along the line he transformed. Also, this Phantom Zant seems to be teleporting a lot more than the first one. So yeah, I think my favourite theory is, of course, if you know much about that, the Link is dead in Majora's Mask theory. I mean, it's very out there, and I can see why people are very sceptical about it, but I do like the whole theory. But there is one sort of thing in that theory that bugs me, and that is a Skull Kid himself. He appears in Termina alongside Link, but does that mean that Skull Kid died as well? And somehow appeared in Link's, what do you call it? Purgatory? Is that the word I'm after? Sort of before the afterlife. But yeah, how did Skull Kid and Majora's Mask get there? If he died in that area. I mean, this is a world of magic, so not everything does have to make sense. Oh, there's Phantom Zant down. And also I'm getting a bit confused trying to think of these theories on the spot. But yeah, what's curious is that how did Skull Kid get into Termina in that case? And we did, of course, defeat Skull Kid at the end of Majora's Mask. And here comes another Zant's hand. Looking forward to being pursued back, I hope. Because I don't really like these sequences with the whole soul carrying thing. It's going to be some Shadow Vermin, I'm sure. Come on, spin! And another Shadow Beast, which we can defeat quite easily with the Master Sword. Don't have to use Energy Field. And there's only one that time. Is that the first solo Shadow Beast we've seen? I might show that how the Zant's hand carries it back to its pedestal. Can I reach that from here? Please? Okay, so he's going to take it back. No penalty for doing so, we just have to go back and grab it again. Just going to let him go back into position. We're not too far into the dungeon. There's no, you don't die instantly if he takes the soul. And going back to the theory, it's heavily implied that the Skull Kid in Majora's Mask is the one from Ocarina of Time in the Lost Woods who you teach Saria's song to. But then there's also a Skull Kid in this game, in the Sacred Grove, who guards the Master Sword. So I reckon that Skull Kid is a second Skull Kid, because there are two Skull Kids in Ocarina of Time. There's only one that you teach Saria's song to. But there's also a couple of Skull Kids that do the flute playing minigame where you have to memorise the pattern. So I'm thinking that there's the one Skull Kid in Majora's Mask is not the same Skull Kid in this game. I mean, I don't really have too much to back up that theory, but the fact that there are two Skull Kids in Ocarina of Time and one of them knows Saria's song, and that does relate to the ending, Majora's Mask. A little bit of spoilers, but Skull Kid does say that you remind me of the fairy kid in the woods who taught me that song once. And I think I've done that completely wrong. Okay, so with this, I need to actually throw the soul. There's no like staircase structure this time. Need to throw it in ahead of time, and that takes us up here, and that Shadow Beast just disappeared completely. And let's let Zant's hand pick it up, and then I'll grapple onto it and take it back. Take it back, Link. Take it back. Thank you. Don't let him run away with it. Grapple it, you fool. So there's also the whole theory that the people who created Majora's Mask are in fact the Twilight. And I think that's mainly down to the fact that the Fused Shadow and Majora's Mask have similar eyes. I'm not seeing a whole lot more resemblance aside from that. The architecture may be sort of similar. With the soul we can also light up these two light orbs, and this will take us over to the entrance. Watch out for the keys, don't let them take your soul! Jump, go, run! We made it. Okay, that was strangely much simpler than the first backtracking bit. But yeah, I'm wondering what happened to Majora's Mask at the beginning of Majora's Mask. Like, when Link drops into the tree, I'd highly doubt that Majora's Mask would have perished along that fall as well. So does that mean that Majora's Mask still exists somewhere in Hyrule, and maybe is still being worn by a Skull Kid somewhere? He just disappeared at the beginning, and then Link, obviously, in Purgatory is dreaming about him. But yeah, I'm just getting a bit confused with all these theories. I'm just spitballing, to be honest. And upon returning both souls to their pedestals, we get a light Master Sword. Its blade glows with a golden light in the Twilight Realm, and with it we can cut through the dark fog. Amazing! The power of the souls has been transferred to the Master Sword. The guardian deities of my world are on our side too. You really are the chosen one, Jack, a true hero. As long as you have that sword, you should be able to repel the shadows Zant has spread. So that's our main objective complete for this episode. We returned both the souls to the central plaza, but there is a couple more chests back on this side, and I figured it would be easier, now that we have this sword, to go and do it now. Also we get this nice golden glow, only in the Twilight Realm, and that does amplify the damage that we do to any of these shadow creatures around. Shadow Beast, Shadow Vermin, Shadow Cargrock, any of those now take additional damage. But we can also use it as like an instant soul. So now I can proceed up to the north part of the dungeon through the curtain of black fog, and that's where we'll be going in the next episode. But I'm going to backtrack across to the west side very quickly, because there are a couple more chests that I can grab, and it's much easier to grab them with the light sword, I think. Because we need to use this. No, if we approach here we can see that there are two platforms hidden in the black fog. Maybe they appeared before, I can't remember. But let's check down, and that still transformed me. Even though I got rid of the black fog, it still transformed me into Wolflink. This is not the side I want to be on. But there's another purple rupee in here. I think I've maxed my wallet out, so I think in between episodes I will quickly run back and refill my potions. But what's really important is this chest on this side. I'm gonna transform it again, because why not? I just want to be human. Wait, where are you going? Platform. Platform just sort of moved away there. And there is a piece of heart, and that is our final piece of heart. And now, there's only one heart remaining, and that is from a full heart container, which we'll actually get at the end of this dungeon. So we're very close to maxing out our heart capacity. And also that serves as a full refill, so I don't need to worry about using a potion or anything in the next episode. I'm brimming with life. Let me do the great spin. Link sounds in pain whenever he does the great spin. But let's use our light sword to activate these two switches. And that makes the platform appear that we saw before. We have to use like an actual sword attack to replicate what the soul does to the switches. We can't just hold the Master Sword out in front of them. So that's going to be it for this episode. In the next episode we will of course head up to the north part of the dungeon, cut through that black curtain and proceed onwards to find Zant. But for now I'm going to head back to the World of Light and restock on some supplies because I took a little bit too much damage. Sort of embarrassing really how much damage I took in this episode. But yes, I will see you in the next episode with some fuller bottles, and we'll return to the Palace of Twilight and go and face off with Zant at the end of the line. And I just opened the pause menu and apparently we can now access the final section of the Cave of Shadows. But I'm not going to explore the third section until we've actually completed the game. I'll do it in a bonus episode. So that's the timing for that. And I will see you in the next episode for the final part of the Palace of Twilight. Bye for now.